it's more expensive than these, so.
I know that. I know. I've seen that. Yes. Yeah. But that's one I'd love to do.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be beautiful.
Carolyn, now where are you going?
We're on, this will be my 5th river cruise in Europe. But
Oh, Europe?
yeah, this one's Budapest to Nuremberg, Germany.
No, what did you say about?
Hey, I was just seeing if you were gonna be able to be on with us for the public works
I
meeting.
just think most of them would have to be redacted.
I think gross pay would have to.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure, because usually you're here early, so everyone was worried about you.
Healthcare. All that kind of
Okay.
stuff would be really-
Oh,
So
So
it's
really
really
just don't show.
personal.
Okay.
Personal.
Oh, I think Chairman.
See, I don't even have the software to do it.
Sorry, everyone. Chairman Poor is joining us. He was, just had another matter he had to attend to. He'll be right on, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
The Tuesday, January 11th meeting of the 2022 to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Michael Kane.
Here.
Brenda Brown.
Present.
Bob Iverson. Heidi Wilson.
Present.
Jim Bouchard.
President?
Carolyn Wands.
Present.
Chairman Mike Poor.
Present.
6 present.
Let the meetings minutes reflect that Bob Iverson had another commitment and would not be able to attend, so he's excused.
And Chairman Poor, if we're not finished by 6:45, I will have to leave the meeting. So I just want to let you know ahead of time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. These will be from December 14th, 21. If there's no corrections, need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Okay,
Ready for roll call?
we do need a roll call, yes.
Alderman Bouchard.
Present?
Wands.
Yes.
O'Kane.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Iverson Wilson.
Yes.
Poor.
Yes.
I think he said yes.
6 yes.
6 yes, thank you. We do have an agenda. There's no additions to the agenda or deletions as far as I know, so need a motion to approve the agenda with a roll call vote, please.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Wands.
Yes.
O'Kane.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Iverson. Wilson.
Yes.
Bouchard.
Yes.
Poor.
Yes.
6 yes.
6 yes, thank you. Madam Clerk, next item is audience comments. We have audience comments.
We have not received any, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. chairman's comments. As you heard earlier, I mean, Martin Luther King celebration is on Monday. Trying to attend if you're able. Another thing, I met with Carl Carpenter and Dave Rui and other staff, all the lead workers this morning. Just we're going to try and do that quarterly. Just so they know who I am, they know who and what's going on and what's on their minds. It was a great meeting. I extended praise to every one of them because of the jobs they're doing, and basically said, the team the mayor's put together is working so great, and it was just nice to sit down and be able to put names and faces together and everybody. But we had a good meeting, and we got some great workers that have the city in their heart, in their mind, in their lives, and that was so nice to see. It was really nice, and I told Carl, can we do this every quarter? And he said, yep, absolutely. So that's my comments. But yeah, it's Mayor, you put together a heck of a team, and it's great working with everyone.
Well, thank you, Chairman. This is how I feel about it. I inherited some excellence, like with Lisa. And then I brought and Carl, and then I brought some new excellence to the table, and all together they work, everyone works together, they have each other's backs. And I think that's what's important, is that no one thinks more of themselves than they ought to. And everyone always has the best interest of the people that we serve in mind, and that's what matters most.
Absolutely, Mayor. And I thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be moving on. Madam Clerk, I hope have these dates right. We'll be moving on for approval of the payrolls for January 7th of 2022. Need a motion put on the table, please.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, any questions on the payrolls? If not, roll call, please.
Vice Chairman O'Kane,
Yes.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Iverson, Wilson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes,
Ford,
Yes.
6 yes.
6 yes, thank you. Next, item 7 is approve the vouchers payable. These will be.
Recording in progress.
It says my meeting is being recorded. Is that okay?
Yeah, I forgot to start it, but it's fine.
We have the audio recording in place, so
Do I hit continue?
yes, sir.
Well, you get all these little, this Zoom stuff. Okay, so are these the payables from January 11, 2022, Madam Clerk?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so I got that one right too. My goodness.
Yes.
Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Iverson, Wilson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Watts,
yes,
O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
6 yes.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to finance, we got Comptroller Massey. 8A is a resolution approving an agreement with OSF Multi-Specialty Group and OSF On Call for COVID-19 testing, employer collection kit services, and authorizing a budget amendment to the fiscal year 2021-2022 American Rescue Plan Act Fund 705 budget. My God, that's the longest resolution I've ever had to read. Need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Who's taking this? Zashlyn?
I can
give a summary of it if you'd like. So as you probably all already heard, the president, I think it was back in September, it's been a while now, issued a vaccination and testing mandate in response to the coronavirus. There was a stay that was put on that, which basically put it on pause. That stay has been lifted, and the Supreme Court heard oral arguments in the last week, I think it was. Anyway, I don't think we've heard final word on that. If that came out today, I haven't seen it, but we have to move forward as if we are going to be required to follow that. We're supposed to be in effect, fines are effective February 9th. So basically we have to be able to test all unvaccinated employees weekly. They're required to wear a mask indoors. So unless they're vaccinated, which then they're exempt from the testing requirement. So what you have in front of you is a resolution with an agreement to OSF. They will train city personnel to take the test samples and use the equipment to track those results. We'll deliver those to a lab to get the results back. But then there's also a fee for the technology they allow us to use. So we'd like to request to use the American Rescue Plan Act, local state fiscal recovery funds to pay for that. So out of that 24 million we're getting from the ARPA funds. So that is what is in front of you.
Will they'll train our staff to administer these tests?
Yeah, city staff will be taking the test samples, creating the records needed, because we have to have proof of testing. It's not just to do it, we have to be able to report it to OSHA.
So getting into union contracts and things, does that have to be negotiated with our different unions?
I mean, we're not really mandating it, the federal government is, so.
But I mean, as far as when we get down the road to actually having to do this, is that something that
we have to do it
Chairman-
in 3 weeks.
Chairman, they have to, all of our employees are required to follow OSHA guidelines anyways.
okay?
So it's really, it's really already a part of what
Okay.
they're required to do. So this is
Okay.
just an additional part of
It's
that.
no additional, then we don't have to do negotiating and different things.
No, sir.
I have a question, Ashlyn. I would say it will be sent to a lab. So is this a local lab like with our local hospital, or does it have to go to somewhere near us, or do they have to send it far away to another state, or what?
It's couriered to the U of I.
Okay, thank you.
I understand this is a 3-month
Yes.
that we're voting on.
Well, so the agreement with OSF is a 6-month, but the budget amendment attached is only for 3 months. If it looks like it's going to come into effect, the current OSHA temporary standard is 6 months. So I was just going to include the rest of the remaining expenses with the package that we plan to bring in the coming weeks. So this was just the one item that's probably going to be in this fiscal year. So, but the agreement with OSF would be 6 months, and then at that point, we would review it. It just depends on whether they extend the temporary standard or not. Sorry, the temporary standard is the guidance that's issued by OSHA in response to the president's mandate.
And this could all change in 6 months. We have no idea what
It
this
could
thing.
change any day. The Supreme Court could probably. An option is they could maintain the stay or turn it down. But we're just trying to plan, you know, in the event that they don't. If for whatever reason they decide to uphold the stay, or somehow say that it's unlawful, I don't know what the term would be. If it doesn't happen, we would just not obviously use this expense and not sign the agreement. So.
Other questions for Comptroller?
I just got one little question. For the future, with this 705 not actually being part of the budget yet, and it looks like it's the first half of the ARPA is 2 years, and then we got other times. Just give us a heads up in the near future how you're going to budget this stuff and which budgets is going to be in, and are you going to separated into so much money in one year and so much money another year. I just kind of curious how it's going to work.
Sure. Yeah, I think I said in the email that the city council already passed that this fund be created a few months back, and that, you know, the landscape's ever evolving. So we didn't know we were going to be budgeting this until a week ago, because that's when the information about the stay being lifted came out, and that the fact the Supreme Court was going to be debating it. So yeah, I mean, I try to be as proactive as I can in communicating this stuff, but the rest of the plan is being brought, I mean, this is being brought to you for approval, you know, because it's
Well,
not. in
I've
the
got no objections to what's going on right now. I'm just curious how this is going to, it's almost like a separate budget to me, but.
Well, and Vice Chairman O'Kane, I don't know if you saw the email. We were authorized to use up to 10 million unrestricted.
Well, under guidelines, yes, I saw that.
But so, I mean, so that's in that, that's that fund we're talking about, right, Ashlyn?
Yeah,
Yeah, but-
That's
same,
gonna be the
same fund.
705.
But things
705
are,
will be the money we're getting from the federal government.
but the city just can't go out and spend it. It's got to be procedure.
Right.
Right,
which
but
is why it's in
this
your-
is out of that fund. This is out of that 705 fund.
I understand that. I just,
Yeah. Just to clarify everyone's questions, this fund 705 was set up specifically for the ARPA funds. We've already received our 12 million and some change first distribution. A year after that, we'll get our second $12 million distribution. There's currently not been any dollars budgeted to come out of 705 yet, which is why really that's why this is in front of you, to say why we're spending these dollars and how much would be allotted. As far as the 10 million for the general fund revenue, I just want to clarify that this would not even fall in that category. Public
really?
health expenses are one of the other areas. I think it's the very first of the four items. It's the first one: public health, vaccination, testing, public health prevention services. So this would fall under that umbrella, not the general fund replacement.
Okay,
Or sorry, the general revenue replacement.
okay.
Okay, that makes more sense. A little more clear, I put it like that.
But it's still part of the 20-some million we're getting.
Yes. Yep.
And you'll just keep track of that separately as far as anything we expand or,
It'll all be brought to council for review and approval.
okay.
Chairperson Poor, I have a question for the mayor. Are there any other public hearings scheduled at this time in regards to the ARPA fund?
No, we don't have any further scheduled at this time.
Okay,
What my hope is, Alderman Brown, is to be able to bring to y'all, hopefully in the second meeting, our second city council meeting in February, a general recommendation based on everything that we've received so far and what we know, for us to have a discussion about it. It will not be an item for a vote. If we need further discussion, we'll go at least one more council meeting. We'll have as many as we need to discuss it. That way people can see how it is we're proposing to spend the money, that they'll have plenty of time to offer feedback on that prior to us actually voting on it. But my plan is to review it for at least one full council meeting, and then further ones as needed.
okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else have questions, comments? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Iverson, Wilson,
Yes.
Richard,
yes,
Vaughns,
Yes.
O'Kane,
yes.
Brown,
Yes,
Moore,
Yes.
6 yes.
Yes, thank you. Item number 9, again, with constraints and different things and timelines, we do have come before us. Item number 9 is an ordinance amending Chapter 9201 Fire Prevention and Chapter 9202 International Fire Code of the City Fire Code. Chief McMaster's asked that this be brought to this committee because it's time sensitive. I believe the date is what, February 3rd or 4th or something has to be turned in. So, Chief, what do you have? Or, well, I guess I need a motion for the table.
Yes, okay.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Chief, are you on? There he is.
Yes, I was just waiting for you to acknowledge. Our current, this is something that Chris and I, my inspections division person, have been working on for some time. And this coincides with the reporting system that we're in the process of putting into play now. This has been a discussion for some time anyway, but it came as a hot topic when we found out that as they're inputting the data into our new database for our new reporting system, they couldn't even give us the old data from the old systems that we've been using because it's so outdated. They didn't even have it in file anymore. We are, again, the International Fire Code as well as the Life Safety Code are both typically updated every 3 years. So every 3 years you'll get a new update. And to give you an example, the current International Fire Code that we have been utilizing till now is the 2003 version. And the current code that we're using now for the Life Safety Code is the 2000 version. So obviously you can understand it's been updated 6 to 7 times since we implemented originally. There have been significant amount of changes since then. What you have in front of you shows what a little bit of difference other than changing the first portion shows you the changing to the new additions, the 2018 edition of both units. There was only a couple of things. The original 2003 version of the International Fire Code, as you see, used to have a lot of deletion out of it. We have stricken those deletions to put them back into the system, and to give you a little bit of background on those. All the things that had been stricken or that had been put in there to be deleted in their entirety before that we've strucken them out. Those changes were all made after Assistant Chief Tom Pruitt retired back in 2018. He was the only individual we had on the department at that time that was trained to do inspections and follow these guidelines and to do those types of things. So when he retired, the administration at that time went back in and they deleted all these sections because we didn't have anybody to do that anymore, and they dropped all that stuff in the laps of the building inspectors to accomplish. Now that we've got myself and Chris McMahon both are trained to a higher level to do these things, we're putting those what were in a previous time deleted are going back in, and those things that were deleted were specifically in relation to operational permits. The first section 105.6 all the way down through 105.6.47. All those things were requiring operational permits. For instance, us being able to require people to show us their systems, show us what they're gonna be putting in or what they have in their system. We can allow for permits for anything. This is permits for anything to systems and buildings to us giving permits for, like when we do arts in the park and we have the vendors set up. This gives us the allowance to go in there and inspect the vendors' trailers before they so that everything is up to speed and stuff. Chris and I have been doing these things for the past year and a half. Just the current ordinance didn't actually give us the authority to do those things, but we were. So by striking all those things, that gives us the authority back to do all those things. And again, as you see, that is 105.1 through 47. That's 47 different entities, everything from regulating and permitting aerosol manufacturers to museums and arts in the park and vendor type of things, as well as you name it, it's in there. That now we have the authority back at us as a department to inspect those things and make sure everything is done as required before they do those things. 105.7 gives us the authority by striking that, what used to be deleted. That gives us back the authority for us to look at construction permit or construction. It allows us to look at construction plans and permit them, yes or no. For instance, Chris and I both went yesterday and did a walkthrough of the next phase of the new Carl facility and approved what they've got done in there for sprinkler systems and things before they start buttoning things up and closing up walls where we can't see it again. This just gives us back the authority to do that. And 108 is tags into the rest of all those in the fact of that allows us to go in and do inspection and testing of their safeguard systems. For instance, this gives us authority back to go in and check their fire alarm systems, check their sprinkler systems and say, yes, they're good, no, they're not, and require them to get them repaired if they don't. All these things were taken out before because at that particular time, we didn't have administration that was capable and trained to do this stuff. So they took it out of our ordinance and gave it to the inspections department. So that's why all those things are being cleaned up. Everything, the rest of that from there down, 109.2 down, are just cleaning up of language that has changed from 2003 to 2018. It's very confusing, and I apologize. And if anybody has any questions, I'll try to the best of my ability to answer them. But the long and short of it is we need to get our codes up to speed to current standards. The one thing you will note in the top at the beginning of the under 92.01 that A3 that you see underlined in the middle, the 2018, we changed the edition from 2000 to 2018, but it notes underlined there, except section 24.3.5.1, residential sprinklers shall be deleted. And long discussions with the mayor, we as a city are not ready yet to delve into requiring residential sprinklers in new construction of homes yet. So that's why as of now, that's been stricken out. So that will be deleted from the code, but otherwise the fire prevention code will be accepted in its entirety minus that.
So Chief, the strikeouts are done. They're out of there. They're section 105.
Yeah,
I mean, all that's
as you see them stricken, that's what we're going to take out of the way the current ordinance reads, correct?
okay. And then
So it will give us the authority back for us to be doing these inspections and requiring permits.
okay. And I'm sure, I mean, right now, if somebody puts in a lawn sprinkler system, they have to have a backflow preventer and various things.
Correct.
Which has to be inspected yearly.
Under the 2000 and 2003 versions that we were using, they weren't required to have, because backflow preventers weren't a thing then.
Right,
so
right.
That adds that to the picture.
But do you see backflow preventers eventually having to be in every house?
In houses?
Yes.
I've not heard any discussion or talk about it as of yet, no.
Well, I've heard a little bit in the back, back in the background, but.
Right, sure. And that's another thing, like on the residential sprinklers. Residential sprinklers obviously are a wonderful thing. It's kind of a double-edged sword, depending on who you talk to. The residential sprinkler will potentially keep you from burning your house down unknowingly if you whatever.
Right.
But the other side of that coin is if it goes off at 9:30 in the morning while everybody's at work and you come home for lunch at noon and realize your residential sprinkler had been going off, now you're going to have more expense in water damage in your structure.
Yeah. There's a business there. There's a business there for some entrepreneur to have a automatic shut off if you're all of a sudden a bunch of water.
Well, but the other side of that coin is the biggest argument for the residential sprinklers obviously is if you're asleep at night and there would happen to be a fire, it's going to keep it at bay and get you out of the house safely. Right. The downside is during the day it may go off and you're unwitting of it, and you come home and there's 3 inches of water in your house. But that was stricken from and the mayor was he was very vocal about that, and he and I had long discussions about it. But I have also done some research with a lot of the entities in our area around us, other departments in other cities, and a lot of other departments in other cities have stricken that are not willing to drop that in the laps of people yet.
Right.
Chairman, it would also cause an additional $5,000 to $10,000 for each new residence that's built.
Oh, yeah.
It's an economic factor.
You're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood up to about $2 per square foot on average. So if someone's building a 2,500 square foot new house, that's addition of that while they're building new, you're looking at about $5,000.
Yeah, Chief.
Now, obviously, you can
Chief, you better double that because I just had an estimate. It's $4 per square foot.
Really? Okay, that has significant then, because
Yeah.
what research Chris did, he told me about $2 a square foot.
Yeah, $4 a square foot.
And committee,
Really?
just so you'll know, Chief McMasters made me, you can't really see, made me read this book about this thick to make sure that I understood everything. So I don't remember it all, but I can probably tell you a whole lot about fire code and fire inspections that I had no idea about before.
Yeah,
And-
each
and
one of those code books are about 500 pages.
Yeah, and again, when we bring stuff to you, the Public Works Committee from Public Safety or anything, we talk before we bring it to the committee, just so everybody's on board. I mean, it's not like this is being blindsided or anything else. It's just something that it's time sensitive and needs to be moved on because February's the
Absolutely.
deadline.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, any other questions? If not, roll call.
Alderman Wilson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Morans,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Iverson, Poor,
Yes,
6 yes.
6 yes. Okay, Chief, anything, item information?
No, I have nothing else at this point, at this
Okay,
time.
thank you. Thank you, sir. And whenever you want to, you and I talked, whenever you wanted something to come to this committee.
Sure.
We're
Just a quick, brief piece of information for anybody that's interested. We promoted, it's been almost a month now. We promoted 2 individuals to lieutenant, to the rank of lieutenant last month, and their swearing in ceremony is tomorrow morning at City Hall in council chambers at 10 o'clock. That's all I have.
Steve, which reminds me, that we were going to be swearing in 4 police officers at 9 a.m. So we'll be swearing in 4 probationary police officers at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And then at 10 a.m. we'll be doing the official promotional ceremony for the 2 lieutenants in the fire division. of the
Okay,
fire department.
so we're all invited, mask
Yes,
up, Mayor, or,
yes, sir.
okay. 9 a.m. is the first, and then 10 is or 9 a.m. is the fire, and 10 a.m. is police.
Just
No,
the
vice
opposite.
versa.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Mayor, I think, was it last week how many was it last week, week before that was sworn in? Was it 5?
Just 1, and then
Just-
we're swearing in 4 tomorrow, Alderman.
Oh,
Brown.
okay.
A total of 5.
Total 5,
Um,
okay.
And
Okay, so-
Alderman Brown, to be very honest with you, if we had more slots at Academy, we would be swearing in more now that we have the COPS grant. It's just that we can't get enough. They were very generous to give us those extra spots because usually you get 2 or 3 at the most, but they had a couple of last minute cancellations. They knew that we got this grant, so we appreciate the folks over at the ILEAS Academy for working with us to get in a few more, and also the people on our police and fire board for making this happen so quickly. So this means, by this summer, we'll have an additional 5 officers out on the streets with us. Well, at a little after Memorial Day, right after, so.
Mayor,
Okay,
I have to
the
ask you,
other question is, with this group that we have now, this 5, I know talking with the chief previously, were we able to get a diverse group of people to put on probation at this time, or are there
Yes,
other
ma'am.
applicants, or where are we on that?
We were, we had I swore in Officer Ackerman last week, a young lady, and then this week we have a Black gentleman who's joining us too, Dalen Day Williams. You probably know him.
I don't
Dalen,
recognize the name.
I'm messing up his last name.
Davis Williams.
Dalen Davis Williams. That's
Yeah, I don't know him, but yeah.
yeah, you do.
He came recommended to us. Alderman Brown, he was recommended to us by Pastor Miller and Pastor Bourne and a couple of others, I believe. So
Okay, fine. I we just know because I know the chief was trying hard and trying to get a diverse group of applicants and, get them on to get selected and get them into PTI. So I was just following up. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So 40% of this rounds class.
Okay, thank you.
And Mayor is, and I know I talked to Chief Yates. We've got the 6 going. Hopefully have them on the streets and things in 6 months. But we need what we're I don't know if Chief's on here or not, but we were down like 10. We needed probably get 10 new officers, right?
With retirements and injuries, we were down 4, so we need 10 total. So this is half of what we need to get us to the new number. Now that we've had this approved, we do have, I believe, 3 or 4 additional individuals that the Police and Fire Board has approved. Should we get academy things open, but we're going to have testing soon. And I know that Ashton is working with Chief Yates and also with the folks who did our videos, the video that they did with you all as aldermen, with us as the mayor and aldermen, and that they did with for Christmas and the Harry Potter event. Those folks are going to be working with Chief to do a recruitment video.
Okay. And while we have Chief McMaster's on here, what about your applicants? I don't know where you're at, if you've had any recent or what, but I know you're just doing a promotion tomorrow, but have you had very many diversities on the applicants for fire department, other than the females? I know you have a female there. You don't have any.
Our current list has no females on it. And I think there's 14 on the list. 2 are not white.
Okay.
I believe I have 1 black and 1 of Hispanic nature. Is it, and no females.
Okay.
No females.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. We kind of got off a little bit, but
Yeah, I know this isn't public. I'm not public service, but while we had McMaster's here, and I just had some concerns.
Hey, Brenda, I never have a problem when you want to talk.
Chairman Poor, I'm sorry.
Hey, Brenda and I were presidents of different Rotary groups at the same time, I think.
Yeah, we sure did.
But okay, so anything else for fire? Okay, move on to Public Transportation Director Beath. We have your item of information report. Anything to add?
The only thing I'll add, I suppose, is I do have a couple of bids out. One is for an engine replacement in our last 2011 bus. This is to be the 3rd engine replacement in our 2011s in the last, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So thank heaven that we're done replacing engines in the 2011s. Everything else is doing pretty well. And then I also have a request for quotes out for a consultant to do the NEPA assessment on the land that we want to acquire to do the renovation on our administrative and maintenance facility. So that I had out for bid right before Christmas, and unfortunately, maybe the timing of the bid was not good because I got no responses, and nobody could give me a really valid reason why they didn't respond. So I tweaked it just a hair and put it back out again. So we'll be opening that bid on February the 1st. So hopefully by the next Public Works meeting, I'll have recommendations for awards for both those bids for you.
Okay. Director Beath, I have a question.
Sure.
Where is this located again?
Where's what located?
Oh, you talked
the
about
land?
Yes, the land.
Okay. Well, the land that we want to acquire is all in the general area of our administrative facility now. So it's in the same, we're not moving to another location. It's all
yeah, you
adjacent
said
property.
something before and I couldn't remember, and I didn't know if it was another location or just where we're at. Okay.
So how far north are you looking? Are you looking at the county building and different things, or?
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, it would be nice to acquire all those properties in that general vicinity there because, there is one house, so there would be relocation and that type of thing. there's a lot of possibilities around there. So we're not committing to anything right now. We're
Okay.
going to see what we can make happen and probably go from there. But yeah, there's a lot of availability in that area.
But that's why you've hired a person to scope the area out and see what you need.
Hoping to hire someone, yes.
Are those areas, Lisa, are those areas able to be purchased that you're talking about?
I think they could be, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, no, I don't know 100%, but I think that they
I
could be.
understand. Yeah.
Mhm.
But you've got eminent domain, different things since,
Okay.
so, I mean,
We
if
do,
it's
we do, but
required.
We never want to use that unless, I pray to God, we never have to use that.
Oh, I don't ever want to use it either. But we do have that option.
We have the option as long as we can demonstrate the public interest, and this one we would.
Okay.
Anything else, Director?
That would be it for me.
Alderman Brown, any other questions?
No, I'm fine. Thank you, Chairman Poor.
Okay, moving on to Public Works, Director Carpenter. Haven't seen you for a few hours, so item number 11A is a resolution approving a special backfill at 101 West North for the demolition. Need a motion and a second for discussion, please.
So moved. Second.
Okay, this is for the old township building. This is because if this is ever going to become a parking lot, you have to put the special fill and compact it as you go, layer in time. Some of this money actually, some of this charge for this backfill was actually included with the original bid that Owens gave to do the demolition. So there will be a lower amount. Whether we spend it on this or the other resolution for his payment, one of these amounts will be lowered slightly because some of this was covered. That's where we're at with this one.
Questions for Director Carpenter? And I'm sure most of you have driven by and seen what a difference it made. My gosh.
Yeah, it does look a lot better. Are you going to have a lot more backfill for that, Carl, or is it pretty well stable?
No, that's it. It's been compacted and passed all
Looks
the
good.
environmental and engineering tests that are necessary at this point.
Yeah, it looks good.
So Carl, right now is the plans are probably in the spring to seed it and go
Well,
from there, right?
We'll go from there, yes. But if it needs seeded, we will seed it. We will.
Well, and we'll
compost on top of it.
you, myself, and the mayor will talk.
Yes.
Okay, any questions on that? The special backfill 101 West North? Okay, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Richard,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
O'Kane,
I don't like it, but yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Iverson, Wilson,
Yes.
Poor,
After consulting with corporate counsel and my involvement with some Masonic temple and things as building committee chairman, I will abstain.
okay, 5 yes.
Okay, moving on, 11B is a resolution amending the general fund 001 and Harrison Park 400 budgets. Need a motion to put that on the table, please.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Hey, who's taking this one?
Was it? I didn't hear it seconded, but okay.
Oh, there was a second?
Yeah, Bouchard seconded.
Okay. As you see, if you've looked at this in front of you, we're asking for a one-time transfer of $65,000. It's actually broken down as to which line item each one of them will go, the amount that'll go into each line item. We need money to cover salaries, the FICA, materials to main equipment, and for horticultural supplies to get us through May 1 of this year. The big difference in the salaries is the fact that we had a change in the way that place was ran after the previous operator left in the middle of last season. And therefore we had to make everybody that was employed down there a city employee instead of people being employed by the previous operator of the facility. So that's what's got us to this point. FICA, of course, is explanatory with the salary increase. The materials to maintain equipment, there is no money to service everything before 1st of May. And as we all know, especially at a golf course, depending on the weather, we could be mowing as early as March or April. And the equipment has to be ready to go when it's time to mow. Same goes with horticultural supplies. That's all the chemicals to spray for disease and weed control on the course itself.
And if I could interject, I mean, I did this all my life, this kind of work and different things. Folks, it's tough to maintain grass. It's expensive, equipment's expensive, labor's expensive. We have Harrison Park set up as an enterprise fund now. And unfortunately, the enterprise fund part isn't paying for it. I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, sometime we're going to have to decide if this wants to be maintained as an enterprise fund, or if we need to just move it in as we do with the pool and different things. It's just a city amenity and have it under the general fund. I mean, it's getting to a point. I mean, hopefully Tiger Woods and his son now being back out on the golf course will stimulate growth in golf enthusiasm. But, you know, we're looking at millions of dollars a year for a basic amenity to the city. And I'm sure Carl would probably not disagree with that we're never going to make enough money to be self-sustaining without drastically increasing, you know, memberships and different things.
I would agree with you.
Then again, it's also a drawing card for Danville, just like the pool would be, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So we
Exactly.
need to maintain.
So down the road, we need to be thinking, is this going to remain an enterprise funded enterprise we have, or do we put it back into the budget as a general fund expense? And, you know, it's tough. It's a tough decision.
It'll definitely have to be looked at, sure.
Yeah. So that's all. I mean, that's all I had to say on that portion. Anybody else have any comments or?
No, I just think that at this time, I think it's a good idea where we're at. And then like he mentioned about, Director Carpenter mentioned about the salary, and it's that itself is worth to have someone that it's a little more substantial rather than where we were at before. From what I understand about the previous person that was taking care of those responsibilities at Harrison Park. So I think it's going to be all together with the salary, the exposure, the facility that is for the city in the long run. It's going to be so, but we continue to look at it.
And I do want to clarify, Alderman Brown, as well, as this salary isn't for one individual. This is to cover the 4 individuals that also work as the maintenance crew for the course as well.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, who else is? You know, hands up or anything. So I guess we can do a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Hey, Alderman Lawrence,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Iverson, Wilson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
6 yes.
6 yes, thank you. 11C is a resolution amending the fiscal year 2021-2022 streets budget. 031. Who's need a motion in a second, please?
So moved.
Why am I getting all this? Is there anybody else getting a lot of back feed?
I'm getting a little bit.
Is somebody on speakerphone or?
It's because our department heads have iPads, so
Oh, okay. All right.
Chairman, we need a second.
Second.
Who is the second?
Alderman Wilson.
Alderman Wilson.
Okay. Okay, questions? Seeing none, I don't see any hands. Okay, roll call, please.
Vice Chairman O'Kane,
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
She had to excuse herself.
Oh, okay. Alderman Wilson,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you, and let the record reflect that Alderman Brown had notified us earlier she'd have to leave by 7:15. Okay, 11D is a resolution approving a professional service agreement. Need a motion to put that on the table, please.
So moved.
And the second?
Second.
Okay. All right, taking this one.
That's Logan or Sam.
I think I'll take it. Logan's, we gave Logan the night off.
Oh, no.
Yep. So this professional service agreement, it pertains to additional environmental services at the former First Farmers Bank site and that general area. If you remember, you approved an agreement previously for doing some borings there. The borings came back with very odd results just as far as the water table goes there. So they're recommending some. We saw a variation of like 5 feet in water table elevation across the site, which is extremely atypical. Normally, it's going to be less than an inch. There's, let's say, some unique geological conditions there, which is probably code word for there's a bunch of junk in the soil and we're not sure what it is. And to the point, EPA got some equipment stuck in the ground and whatnot. So the consultant's fairly confident with some additional borings that we can be on a track to hopefully get a no further remediation letter from the EPA by the end of this year. That's what we're going to target.
Oh, you're talking end of 2022.
2022. Correct. Yeah. So
we're just into 2021. So we got a whole year.
Yeah. So we'll do the borings. They've got to go through the analysis of those. We submit, basically we review that report, and then it sounds like we're going to be seeking some kind of long-term controls on the site, which would be maintaining pavement or barriers on the surface, because remediation, it's not at levels that would have to be remediated, and remediation would be a very difficult task, just based on it going under roadways and things like that nearby. So I guess the good news is that we think we're on track to actually have that be a developable site by the end of the year. The bad news is we got to spend a little bit more money to get there. So
can we move some of that money out of the 14th Street landfill remediation fund into this?
Not yet. So that's I guess the attorneys are talking about that one with the EPA still. So, but this would be paid for with Midtown TIF funds, which is it's a good use of those funds to promote redevelopment in that area.
Yeah.
So,
how much dry cleaner fluid and stuff's in that ground?
I don't know that I'm not sure how to quantify that, I guess, or if they know the answer. That's definitely the issue. We'll say that.
Yeah, that's why we've lost several developments in that area.
Right. So I think, ultimately somebody's going to have to be willing to develop it with certain stipulations, but the key is going to be that they know that it's not their liability on the site going forward, and that they're not going to have cleanup responsibility based on their proposed use. So
I'm excited about it, and I wish that we could just say it was going to be cleaned up. But if we were going to go after a cleanup grant or something, odds are good it could be multiple more years before we, got to that point. So I guess count our blessings, even if they're not the ones we wanted.
Hey, back in the day, we just go dig footings and put up a
Right.
structure,
Yep.
Sam, is that normally the depth that you have to go on a site like that? It says 48 feet.
It
Groundwater.
varies depending on the water table. The water table is quite deep on that site. So I think and I'm not a geologist, I'm just a guy who knows geologists. Let's just say it varies. I think that's towards the deeper end of the spectrum, but because of the soil types there and the type of chemicals, it's sitting a little bit deeper than you find on some other sites.
Any other questions for Public Works? Excuse me, Engineer Cole.
Just guessing, how long before that land could really be developed?
Well, I don't have obviously none of us have a
I say I guess.
Crystal ball. We've had some interest in that site already. Mayor can attest to there was a developer that was actually interested in developing both corners. They wanted to build both simultaneously. So that's been because of this environmental issue that's on pause a little bit. So we think that we'll get something done. I can't guarantee it's going to be 2023, but with some terms and some marketing, I think that we can get somebody in that site.
Oh, absolutely.
I know we'll don't want to be looking at the testing stuff forever.
Yeah. And I don't want to be the guy who makes well, I'm not making promises anyway, but I don't want to lead you down a path of no return, right? So if it works out that way, we'll just blame Logan. He's not here.
Yeah.
Sam, that gas station property up on North Vermillion, before you get to the mall on your left, what did that ever determine? Is that still is that good to go, or is that property damaged?
It's still an active environmental cleanup site. They removed a substantial amount of soil. I believe they still have to they've got whatever that trailer is that basically is extracting groundwater and treating it still. So they're seeking some input from the Illinois EPA, I believe, on what types of requirements will we put on that to enable. Basically, the kind of the holy grail is to get an NFR letter or a no further remediation letter. So they're in that process. It's fairly early, I think, at this point. So.
Okay, thank you.
So that trailer's still sitting there pumping?
I believe so. As far as I think it is. It's sitting because it's just north of that other gas station. So that, the contaminants went so deep, I think that they still have to, they excavated a lot. I don't know how deep they went, but I would guess it was every bit of 15 feet deep.
Oh, yeah.
Where they across the whole site. But so I think they removed the bulk of the shallow contaminants, but there's still stuff that's down deeper.
Wow. That's interesting. Okay, any questions for Sam? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Brown, Iverson, Wilson,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Wans,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes. Moving on to 11E, any item of information?
I don't currently have anything, no.
But Carl, I will jump in and I will tell you, Carl and I have good relationship with this committee and we talk often. And today's event, when I got to meet with all the folks and the workers and stuff, that was to me very good. We need to do that more often. And any other the Public Works Committee would like to be included in that, we're more than welcome to have you join us. It's something we need to do to keep coherent on what everybody's doing. And what's coming down the pike and different things. So thank you, Carl.
Well, we appreciate you coming today, Mike.
Okay, committee members' comments, item 13. Okay, we'll move on. Mayor, do we need a closed session?
No, sir.
Well, we can all just close our doors then, and I need a motion for adjournment. Is there a motion for adjournment? Item
Nobody wants to leave.
15. We never get to see each other. We need. So we need a motion and a second for adjournment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Chairman, we have to have a
Roll
roll
call.
call. Sorry. We have to have a roll call, Chairman, because we're.
Oh, roll call. That's right. I'm sorry, Chair. I'm sorry, Corporate Counsel Simon, for not.
Alderman Iverson, Wilson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Bonds,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Brown. 4,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes. Hopefully, we'll be back in person next month. But, the way this crazy thing's going, get vaccinated, get your booster, get whatever, and we can all be back together again. So,
Thanks,
thank you,
everyone.
everybody. Have a great evening. Have a great week.
All right. Good night, everyone.
See ya.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.